Hi y'all, hi everybody. Thank you for coming to my channel. Today I'm gonna do a little bit of, I guess reaction, I don't know what you call it, to the face painters. Well, actually I have to give that credit to, I think his name is Atozy, A-T-O-Z-Y. Sometimes I look at his channel and he was talking about today, and he called them the face painting community, which I thought was hilarious. So this business with, I think it's called Dramageddon. I don't really pay too much attention to stuff like that. I'm usually like a month or two late to the party, or 6 months, things will be going on, and I'm not really paying attention to a lot of the drama that goes on. But I did see the Tati Westbrook Bye Sister video, and I didn't really know who she was. I think I saw like maybe a portion of one of her videos one time, and I am subscribed to James Charles, and I never unsubscribed. I really thought he was such a brilliant makeup artist. He really, or beauty person, I don't know what he wants to be called, or whatever he represents himself to be. I really liked his channel, the way he would, all the makeup things he would do, the tutorials and things like that. He had very beautiful makeup, and I was shocked that a guy could do makeup so well. And I never really paid too much attention to them, but I was struck by him. He was so young, and he was so talented. He could really, he really has a talent from doing the makeup thing, and I don't. I just poof, put it on. So I guess I kind of was, in awe of him, even as young as he was. And I was amazed that he was so young, and that he had his own company, and he was so successful, and he was really, climbing up there. And I saw that video from Tati Westbrook, and it was so vague and so accusatory of things, but she didn't say specifically what, or she didn't really say what it was, just a bunch of like vague accusations through third and fourth party gossip is what it sounded like to me. So I didn't really believe a word she said, or I've had people say things like that about me where they don't say specifically what it is. Everybody's had that happen to them, I believe. And so I just dismissed it, that she's just a self-serving pit viper or something like that, because it was so harsh and so cruel-minded and so thoughtless. The things that she was saying were really detrimental, and they could have, really financially devastated him. And I think it did do some financial damage to him, because a lot of advertisers or people that may have wanted to do business with him in the makeup world or the beauty world, whatever you want to call it, they could have been dissuaded by that. They didn't want to put their name on a product by somebody who may have been accused of things. And I think that it did cost him business, and I think it did cost him money. And for her to be so stupid, at her age, to just go online and make a video like that of somebody, she is so, so lucky that he did not send a team of lawyers to her doorstep the next morning. She is so lucky that he is so forgiving and has a much bigger heart than I do, because I would never have forgiven her, and I would never trust her again. But he must be a very, very, I don't want to say completely soft-hearted, but very, very caring person, For him, he must have been very, very hurt by it, and he wanted her forgiveness, or he forgave her, or whatever it was, whatever the situation. But I feel like she manipulated him into forgiving her. After she did what she did to him, I'm amazed that he forgave her. I mean, she's incredibly lucky for that. And I think that, I guess Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson did manipulate her a little bit. But she is a grown woman, and she's of an age where she has total control over her mind and her mouth. And she did what she did on her own free will. I really believe that. I don't care what kind of, like I say, third, fourth party gossip that people tell you. When you go off and do something like that to another person, and you don't say exactly what it is, you just make vague accusations and innuendo and insinuation. Those are things that you do on your own, 100% on your own. Unless one of them was behind the camera with a gun pointed at her. She did all that to herself. And all the damage that's been done to her is her fault. And she's, like I say, incredibly lucky that James Charles has the heart to forgive her or to even want anything else to do with her, you know. And I think that may be because he is so young, and, you know, he did have a relationship with her that he felt, you know, I think they had like a motherly son sort of relationship or something like that. I don't know. And I think he still wanted, you know, that relationship, and he wanted to repair it. And even after the damage that she did to him, I just think it's unconscionable, you know, that, you know, like I say, she's just incredibly lucky, you know. And the apology she gave, I do think it was sincere to him, but to try to blame it on two other people, I think that's ridiculous, you know. I mean, those two people were not in the video with her making those accusations with her. They didn't, like, band together and make a video together. It was her video by itself, you know. No matter what hand that Jeffree or Shane may have put into it, the stupidity of making that video is, to me, just unfathomable. I mean, and it was all over the vitamins. I think she was really, really upset about that, you know, but they were not in any kind of, from what I understand, there was no written contract between her and James that he would only promote her vitamin company or whatever. First off, if there was a contract, it would have to be beneficial to both parties. You know, like, they're both wealthy people. They both own their own companies. For him to do something like that, she would need to pay him. There would have to be some kind of equalness in the agreement. You know, because that's not like that would be an unusual contract, and it would be questionable, actually questionable, that you just put somebody under contract to do something like that, that normally, for him to be a spokesperson pretty much for your company, vitamins or whatever, and yet you're not paying him, you know, you have to be in a contract. It has to have some kind of benefit for both parties. And I don't recall her ever saying, well, I'm paying him this, or he's going to get X amount of the profit from the vitamin, you know, if the profits go up, or percentage or anything like that. So she really had no claim over him, and all that hysterical business about him promoting another vitamin. So what? She's a businesswoman. She didn't get it in writing. She didn't make any kind of financial arrangement with him and his lawyers and have a contract signed between the two of them, both their companies. So that was ridiculous. That claim right there just is absolutely ridiculous. And as a businesswoman, she knows that. Even if she thought about it, even if she was upset before in that video, I mean, she would have to have some kind of common sense now to know that she can't just claim him almost like a piece of property. It's like she was just really mad at him, you know, for promoting the other brand or whatever. That was ridiculous. She did it all to herself, you know. I have no pity for her, and any damage that happens, you know, that's a fallout you get when you do something like that. I mean, the stupidity of making that Bye Sister video, you know, at the behest of what she said, in her words, was through manipulation of Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. I think that was just asinine. I mean, that's just an asinine idea. She made the video herself, and it was filled with, vile and hate. It seemed like just very, very hateful, spiteful, horrible, wording. And the damage that she could have financially done to him, who knows? He could have lost all kinds of contracts, because maybe companies, other makeup companies or anything, any product that he could have represented or could have had an association with his business, I think a lot of them will probably back away now, because they don't want to be in the middle of this, especially somebody who may have been accused of the insinuations of what she was saying. So the damage there, I think, for her to think about suing other people, she made a statement about something about the statute limitations are still, within the time frame that she could sue. Well, James could still do the same thing to her. She's incredibly lucky that he forgave her or has a big enough heart, because somebody like me, I wouldn't do that. I would have just closed the door on her forever. She's so, so lucky. And as far as Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star, yeah, I do think they kind of did manipulate, but as far as her being gaslighted into doing it, I don't think so. She made a stupid decision, and she ran with it, and the outcome, it was horrible for everybody involved. And the apology video that she gave with the lawyer approved script, it was more like her trying to justify, I did it because people told me this, and I did it, because of gossip. That's ridiculous. Those are my thoughts on it. I can't believe, and when I saw the video, I was like, who is this lady? I was like, what, is she crazy? And I really was expecting a huge story about James Charles suing her and all this, but it never happened. And I was like, that's so strange, I would have immediately called my lawyers and sued her, or every party. I would have had every party named, that was making these accusations. But I don't know how he didn't do it, if he was talked out of it, or if he didn't want to do it to begin with, or what. I don't know. She's incredibly lucky. Well, that's just what I have to say about it. And well, I don't know. The face painters are all imploding, and I don't know. I'm still subscribed to James Charles. I think he's, a very bright young guy, and he's building his own. He's so strong to have gone through that at such a young age and be able to weather that. And I know the first video where he was crying, it looked horrible, and it was, kind of pathetic. But the second video where he got enough backbone, he had enough time to recover, got his second wind, good for him. Very good for him. Okay, well, that's just what I have to say about all that. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.